I've been able to kind of take advantage of the history recording and storytelling nature of what photography can do, to go to places that most people don't get to go. My name's David Burnett. I'm a photojournalist, which traditionally means a photographer who shoots for publications, for magazines. So I graduated from college, began working as a young freelancer for Time magazine in Washington, D.C. and Miami. And after about a year and a half, there wasn't so much in the way of interesting assignments, and I decided to go where the story was, which in 1970 was still Vietnam. The American War was starting to think about winding down, but it was still a pretty large American presence in Vietnam. So I moved out there in September of 1970 thinking maybe I'd stay for 6 weeks, and I stayed on for 2 years, working for Time and then later for Life magazine. I decided to with a couple of other guys in New York, start my own agency, Contact Press Images. And we've been going for 35 years, amazingly. Really like a living photo library. It's the repository, it's where my work and that of a lot of other photographers lives and is constantly being accessed by clients who are looking for a picture from the Iran Revolution or Nicaragua in 1979. The pictures now are constantly called in by books and magazines and films, documentary films, people who are looking for good photographs that really tell a story. Still, when I was in high school, John Kennedy came to Salt Lake City, and my mom and I hopped in the car and drove downtown, and we were at the Hotel Utah lobby when he came walking through, and I shot a few pictures of him. And later on in college, I ended up majoring in political science. And I don't know if there was some kind of curse that came along with that, but I've just been following American presidents and politicians ever since then. It's not the only thing I do, but I photographed every president for the last 45 years. I've been privileged and lucky enough, I guess, I've worked in about 85 countries. At the 1984 Olympics, there was an event that turned out to be a real surprise. It became this big match that was, you know, Zola Budd, Mary Decker, Zola Budd. And as it happened, there was an accident midway through the race, and Mary Decker fell and was out of the race. As fate would have it, she did it right in front of where I was sitting with my camera. It has probably become my most published photograph, is the picture of Mary lying on the ground in agony, and after the race for her was clearly over. And since then, I've covered every Summer Olympic Games. That there is something about a still photograph and the ability to touch a human soul in a completely nonverbal way. But if there are no photographs to really let people relate to what things look like, it'll be very hard for people in the future to understand what our world was like. And I think for me, that's one of the great things that I can do with photography, is to make pictures which hopefully in 50 or 100 years will still have some relevance to people who will want to know what the 20th century was all about.